As you see, my Jedi powers are far beyond yours. As you see, my Jedi powers are far beyond yours.
Oh, hi, Nerd Avengers. How we doing? Hope you guys had a good weekend. Oh, what's all this, you ask? This is state-of-the-art artificial intelligence that we're working on here at the tower. And to be honest, we created it because we're trying to calculate what the hell Kevin Feige is doing with the Sony Marvel Multiverse. What? Tom Hardy Venom? Spider-Man 3? What? And so far, you know, we've got all these computers, we're calculating, we're doing projections, simulations, etc., etc. But I don't know how Tony did it, man. This thing's like hard to work. This is no IKEA dresser. This thing has yet to say a word. So, I don't know. Send a few more super chats, I guess. We'll try to get this fucking thing working. Meet me in the studio. I'll see you in just a second. Oh, yeah. What's up, everybody? How are we doing, Nerd Vengers? How are we doing? Happy to be here with you guys. Monday. I missed you guys this weekend. I had the wedding. Was hanging out with friends, family, etc., etc. Missed you guys. Let's see what's up. Let's see who's in the chat this morning before we get into all the details. Adam G, first in the building. Lord Vito is here. Park Outdoors. Josh I's in the building. Peter Farrett is here. Tim Turner. Ryan H is here. JT. Bill M. Mr. Deeds. Adam. Hi Bashti. Danny. Whiskey Steve. Ghostface Records. Wu-Tang Wells. Will Bonin. Star Wars Talk Show. Darth Clean. Justin's in here. Scotty Hawks is in here. Joe Flax. Jennifer Cook. Star Wars Santa. Bunch of beautiful people. Rob's in the building. Writes Reviews. Anthony Strader. Space Wolf Lounge, Jekko, Cole Adams, Ultra Instinct, Spidey. Holy cow, Mav's in here, Lavis is in here. Bunch of awesome people in the building today. If I missed your name, I apologize. What is up, guys? What is up? Hope you guys are doing well. Look, my hair, ridiculous today. I really don't know. We might hat it up. Might just boop, put a hat on. Hope you guys are doing well. You and Grace finally tie the knot? No, unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But, beautiful wedding. Beautiful wedding. My best friend got married. Bunch of my favorite people all in the same area. It was pretty cool, man. It was a pretty magical weekend. But I did miss you guys. I missed hanging. I missed doing the Sunday streams. Sunday streams, if you didn't know, are like one of my favorite streams. Talking business. I love talking business. So it was a great weekend. Did I catch the bouquet? Nah. I butterfinged it. I was like, and then it just put out, and then somebody caught it, and I was like, you fucker. But, yeah, it is what it is. Real quick, before we go any further in the show, show notes! Show notes! We should be back to normal this weekend. This week. What the fuck? Look. We should be having After Dark again Thursday night. After Dark returns, I'm pretty sure. Lavis, double check me. So that will be dope. We're going to have the watch party Friday. Salute to you, Lord Callis. It's good to see you, brother. So we'll be doing that on Friday, watch party. I'm not sure what we're going to watch. Tonight, Nerd Theory, as per usual on your Monday nights. I'll be over on Star Wars Theories channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. And I'm not 100% sure what we'll be talking about tonight. I know that there's the official reveal of the episodes, when they're going to air. Maybe we'll get into a little bit of that. I'd love to talk a little bit of Old Republic stuff, but there's some stuff that I heard that I'm not supposed to talk about, blah, 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 blah. So we'll see. I'm going to go digging a little bit later to try to find some juicy stuff for us to talk about tonight on Nerd Theory. We need to watch Cobra Kai on Friday, Rob says. That's not a bad idea. I'll run that by Bashti. We'll see what everybody says. So Nerd Theory tonight, After Dark returns. Might do a couple gaming streams this week, but most importantly, what I wanted to tell you guys is this weekend, noon on Saturday, big Nerd Vengers stream. We're going to be going over our battle plans, and I have some really epic stuff planned that I want to talk with you guys about. And so if you are a Nerd Venger member, if you'll recall, we've had a couple interactions with Mickey, CGM show. I see your super chat. I'll get to it in just a second. We've had a couple run-ins with Mickey the Mouse. And the Nerd Vengers helped us out last time, got in their X-Wings, came out. It was really epic. Well, the word is Mickey's coming back. And he's coming back with more Star Destroyers, maybe some TIE Fighters. So we got a plan. And I've got a pretty juicy little plan. So this Saturday, Nerd Venger members, please try to make it this Saturday to the stream or watch it on the replay. And if you are not a member of the channel, you want to support the channel and be a part of the really cool shit that we do, $4.99 a month, $4.99 a month, bop, couple buttons, and you're in, and you're a Nerd Venger. So let's talk about CGM shows. Super chat here. Please, God, please keep crap Venom away from the MCU. Okay, I gotta know right away, guys. I gotta know right away. Is this how we're all feeling? I need to know where the chat is at with this. So you guys let me know. Are you pro or anti Tom Hardy Venom in the MCU? Give me something positive if you're pro. Give me something negative if you are not. Are you pro or are you no? Venom was dumb fun. No, bring him in. I am. Boseman had a wedding and I had a weekend off. Oh, okay. No, I got you. I feel you. A2, I want Venom in the MCU. I love Venom. Anti, says Mr. Deeds. Keep Venom out. Bring Morbius in. Okay. All right. Did you miss anything? Not really. Not really, brother. Show notes and we're talking about, we're getting into the Venom talk right now. I just want the mutants. I don't care about anything else, says Riley. I hear you. I hear you. Love it. Some positivity. I want Tom Holland as Tom versus Tom. Yeah, me too. Me too. That's a bro vote. Look, not ever MCU movie is perfect, but damn, standards. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. We'll get into it. How many Bothans died to bring us this Mickey attack information? Whew. We don't even want to talk about it, Mav. We don't even want to talk about it. Story matters. That'll be so awesome. It's a little too early if they do it right. I thought Venom was a great movie. Okay, cool. I'm pro and no because I don't want them to oversaturate the movie. Okay, that's a great starting point. Madi, let's talk about this. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. So let's talk about this. It's really feeling like Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2 are getting a little crowded. You know? Now, look, I'm not personally that concerned, but let's just be real. Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2 are feeling a little crowded. You know what I mean? So, I understand hesitation, trepidation, concern. I get it. I understand it. CGM shows those Venom is just so dumb. I don't know, man. To me, here's where I stand on this, and I think a lot of people actually feel this way. Like, it was kind of what Adam said, where he's like, it's dumb fun. Like, Venom is not a great movie, but it's way better than I thought it was going to be, and I loved Venom and Tom Hardy, Venom and Eddie, their relationship, their back and forth, their buddy cop kind of stuff. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff to me was awesome. Look, I've got like sweat on my brow. I have to like, it's getting hot in the studio. Okay, you haven't seen Venom, bro? You've got to see Venom, just so that we got have your opinion. You know what I mean? I think you got to check it out. I had a lot of fun with that movie. Now, it damn sure better get better than that for what they want to do with their universe. But Venom almost made $1 billion. I think it made like, what, 850 million? Something like that? Venom almost made $1 billion, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big movie. And they did it without Spider-Man. They did it without the MCU. Okay? Venom making $1 billion was what really made Rothman and A-Rad and all those guys think that they could do it without Feige. And to be fair, they kind of did. But let's get into the theater and let's look at the official story. Okay, we'll get into the theater, we'll look at the official story, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what it means. By the way, this is kind of what I wanted to do this morning, and I want to get your feedback on this, ladies and gentlemen. But this is, oh, by the way, we need way more likes on this video. And I know, it's a Monday, we're all just kind of fucking, just, stretch it out, and then click that like button, and you're all good. So, here's what I wanted to do later in the show, and I want to get your opinion. I want to go into the theater and watch some of my older videos. Because I think, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think I've been calling this shit for like a year. What I originally said when this whole deal was going down was that I thought Kevin Feige would create a diegetic, everybody knows it's one of my favorite big words, fancy words, diegetic, means within the world of the story. I thought Kevin Feige was going to figure out a diegetic way to make the Sony Marvel Universe and the MCU be able to exist but also be separated via the multiverse. And I think it would be kind of interesting to kind of go through some of my older videos where I was making this point. And I want to see how close, even back then, how close was I to being accurate to what the actual plan is. Okay, now this is coming from the direct, and there's a couple of different things. There's like a lot of different places that we could go in this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm kind of counting on you guys and your input, and we'll kind of just figure it out from there. But you know, one of the things that's been really interesting is, again, this comes from Daniel Richtman, okay? Again, this comes from Daniel Richtman. But what's interesting is I'm seeing a thing where some more mainstream, more Hollywood scoopers and insiders are not covering this as much as I would think they would. Quite odd. In fact, some of the people covering this, I wish fucking weren't covering it. Like Cosmic Book News. I'm sure you're nice people, but your track record is ass. You know what I mean? TheExpress.uk. Again, does Mike Zero own that website? Like, some of the people that are reporting on this stuff, it's messing with me, because these are normally institutions and websites that, just by being associated with a scoop or a rumor, I automatically discount it. So what the fuck is happening? Why aren't more legitimate people covering this Daniel Richtman stuff? I don't know, but I want to know. So, it says here, MCU Spider-Man 3, Tom Hardy rumored to be in consideration for Venom role in Marvel sequel. Spider-Man 3 is shaping up to be the must-see flick of Phase 4. They've just added Jamie Foxx's Electro, Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange to an all-star studded cast. According to Daniel Richtman's Patreon, there is a general interest from the studio for Tom Hardy Venom to show up in Spider-Man 3. It's unclear if the interest is from Sony, Marvel, or both. By the way, Daniel absolutely knows legitimately what it is, but he's probably being vague in his Patreon. Rickman says there have been no real talks yet, and Hardy's involvement would presumably be for just a cameo role. Okay. Okay. All right, let's talk about this. So here's the thing. When did Tom Hardy, remember when Tom Hardy did that, let's see here. Tom Hardy, Spider-Man Instagram. Let's see here. Okay. Y'all remember this? Do y'all remember this? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? So here's the thing. Josh, are you being doomcocked? Only when I want to. Listen. Lean in. When did this happen? Tom Hardy deletes this from his Instagram. October 2019. October 2019. What's he doing? Why does he do this? Didn't Tom Holland make some comments as well? Here's another one. Tom Hardy teases April 22nd, 2020. April 22nd? What? And by the way, all of these were removed. He was forced to take them down. Okay? Interesting. Tom Holland comments on Sony Marvel deal. October 2019. See what it says. There's something specific I'm looking for here. Let's see if we find it. Okay. Kevin Feige stated that he's the only hero with a superpower to cross cinematic universes. This was another clue. With the superpower to cross cinematic universes. And I'm looking for the comment that Holland made. Because his comment to me was really telling as well. I don't know. Let's see if we can find it. I'm going somewhere with this, by the way. This is not a... Tom Holland apparently saved the Spider-Man... Okay, here we go. Tom Holland... Okay. Wait, what? Oh, right. Okay, so this is when it finally was, like, figured out, and Holland posted the thing from Wolf of Wall Street, I'm not leaving, and it was, like, really memeable. It was really great. You know what I mean? This was awesome. Man, I really wish I could find the comment that I was looking for, because I thought it was really telling. Okay, let's just pull out. Let's pull back into the chat setting, and I want to explain to you what I think is going on. And then we're going to watch some other... stuff as well. Okay, so here's what I think's going on, ladies and gentlemen. This shit was figured out a long time ago, basically. This shit was figured out a while ago. And studios don't actually sit on their hands and just wait for shit to happen. Believe it or not. Okay? And so Sony apparently already had a multiversal idea that they were working on. And, you know, on Friday, I sat down with Matt from the Lightcast podcast. We talked about this a good bit. We sort of speculated about what could have been happening, went over some of the plans that Mark Webb had, went over some of the plans that Sony Pictures had, and what they were working with over there. Okay? And I think Marvel's also building towards the MCU. Now, interestingly, in the Sony emails, in the leaked Sony emails, which came out because of, you know, North Korea got all mad because Sony made that movie with Franco or whatever that made fun of them. And so they came in and hacked the Sony emails. When the Sony emails leaked out, one of the things that came out was that Kevin Feige, despite not actually being involved in some of these older Spider-Man movies, even though he was a producer on a lot of these films, and even beyond that, there was a lot of back and forth between Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige, and Kevin was still giving them advice on what they were doing in their Sony universe, on what they were doing with Venom, etc., etc. Okay? And I think the plan, or what Sony wanted, was for Tom Holland and Tom Hardy to fight together. I think that was 100% always the plan. Always. And from Sony's perspective, after everything broke down late last year, I believe Sony thought, hey, we can take Spider-Man back. We can take Tom Holland back. You know what I mean? We can take him back. And then we could stick him in a movie with Venom. We don't need Marvel's cooperation. We don't need Marvel's help, etc., etc. Now, what they ran into, the problem they ran into, and this is partially what we talked about on Friday, because many of you were like, but it doesn't work that way. Feige has no leverage in this negotiation. He's signed up for Sony. It's a Sony-owned character. Feige has zero leverage. How could Feige, how could Marvel draw any line in the sand with this negotiation whatsoever? Well, that's exactly what Sony thought. And then they walked away, and the entire internet cursed their name. Cursed them to the heavens. Shouted into the abyss. You know what I mean? Not only that, Tom Holland himself, not down. This is his career. This is his future. Not down. You understand? Not down. And so, Sony found themselves in a interesting situation. Legally speaking, they were in the right. They were fine to do whatever they wanted. And I truly believe that what happened was, when that deal broke apart, Tom Hardy and Sony were like, hey, we got a plan. We're going to be fine. Tom, you're good over here. And the reason I think this, and this is the quote that I couldn't find, and Mav, I will get to your super chat just in a second here. But this is the quote that I couldn't find. It's somewhere out there. It was Tom Holland essentially saying, we had a great plan with Marvel, and it was awesome, but Sony also has a great plan for the Spider-Man character, and whatever happens, it's going to be dope. And there was this 2-week window where Tom Holland, because he appeared at Keystone Comic-Con just days after his appearance at D23, okay, and he was obviously asked about it. You know, it was very emotional. He's trying to play the game, etc., etc. He said something to the effect of, Sony's got a dope plan. And whatever Sony's plan is, that's awesome. Now, here's the thing. I think clearly what that plan was and why in October of 2019, Tom Hardy posted himself in a suit that belonged to the Tom Holland Spider-Man created by Tony Stark, the Iron Spider suit, is because my man knew back then, hey, we got this guy, and I'm going to fight him. I'm going to fight him. Okay? Now, the minutia of this deal and this negotiation with Feige and Sony has obviously been happening behind the scenes. I mean, I feel like a broken record. We've been talking about the same kind of stuff for weeks now. For weeks. For weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Right? All this multiversal stuff, all this craziness, Olivia Wilde mentioning Kevin Feige, Jessica Drew apparently being tied to the MCU and the Sony multiverse. Kevin Feige put Doctor Strange in a Sony movie. Kevin Feige put Doctor Strange in a Sony movie. What? Where I'm from, they'd say, that don't make no damn sense. And it doesn't. Unless they worked it out. Yeah. And so this just appears to be the latest. And what I think happened was Sony had their plan. They're going to go ahead. They were going to do their plan. Feige said, wait, hold up. What if we took your plan and we took my plan and we figured out how to Dragon Ball Z fusion dance these plans together? You can get what you want. I can get what I want. And then you have your own Spider-Man. I have my Spider-Man. They're connected. And what I continue to believe is that Tom Holland will remain Peter Parker and the Spider-Man natively for the MCU, and he will mostly stick around in the MCU. There will be a different Spider-Man over at Sony, and Venom will interact in Spider-Man 3 with Tom Holland. Now, it could be post-credit scene, it could be cameo, but regardless, what this really means is that they have figured out a way to make this make sense in the story, and everybody gets what they want. Venom, Tom Hardy Venom, after this next Spider-Man movie, will have had an experience with the Tom Holland Spider-Man. They will be aware of each other. Venom will be aware of the multiverse. Venom will be aware of Doctor Strange, Avengers, and different things that are going on in the MCU, and he will be aware that that is a different universe than the one that he is from. But there will be bridges. And it is possible that Tom Hardy Venom will show up in the MCU. I think the next time he will show up in a significant role will be Battle World or Secret Wars, which I continue to tout as the unbelievably awesome future that we are inevitably headed to. And I'm quite pumped. I'm quite excited. And so what do you guys think? What do you think? James Matumbo says, I think Tom Holland is still the Spider-Man for Sony. But what makes you think that, though? You know what I mean? Like, what evidence is there that that would be the case? You know what I mean? Park Outdoors says Secret Wars is going to come out in like 10 years. I disagree. I think it's coming much sooner. Much, much sooner. I am too, but that is going to be a long time. Yeah, no, I disagree. Josh, can we just interview Daniel just like we did with Murphy and Conrad? So, no, we can't, because Daniel Richtman is not that guy's real name. And I don't know. I mean, if he would do an interview under the guise of Daniel and whatever, maybe. But the truth is, he probably doesn't want his face out there. He probably doesn't want his voice out there. Although he does a podcast, doesn't he? Doesn't he do a podcast? I don't know. All right, let's see what's let me read these super chats. Okay, so we got, please God, keep crap Venom away from the MCU. We already addressed that. Mav says, okay, in this nerdy scenario, did Feige just tortoise DC's hair? Did the MCU Sony just wait for the DCEU to take a nap and just win the 2020 hype race? I don't know. Look, I actually think it's kind of the opposite, whereas Feige doesn't want a lot of this stuff to come out. But then again, some of it broke in the trades, right? So that makes you think that, yes, they do want it out there. But here's what's happening. The trades, like the official Hollywood stuff, the trades just reported a couple of different things, mostly Electro, and Doctor Strange. Okay, so the trades are talking about Electro and Doctor Strange. That's what's officially being talked about, Hollywood safe, studio safe. Daniel's talking about way more wild shit than that. Daniel's like, oh yeah, Kirsten Dunst's MJ's back. Dane DeHaan Green Goblin is back. You know what I mean? Daniel's like, oh, Tom Hardy Venom is probably going to appear. And when he says on his Patreon that, like, they're in deep talks and he doesn't know which side, is that bullshit? It's Sony, 100%, and Marvel is going to give him what they want, because Marvel's going to get what they want. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. All right, let me read some of these. Are you a Patreon member for Richtman? No, but I want to be. Okay, Luca says, hear me out. Venom won't come. We know what will happen. Strange will open a dimensional gate and Toby will show up saying he's back. Then he will put dirt in Tom's eyes and emo dance. Hey, that'd be cool. Josh, the evidence is believe it until we see it. Until Sony officially gives us a Spider-Man other than Holland, Holland will do both. I mean, sure, Leonard, I get that, but Sony has already given us other Spider-Man. Sony gave you Tobey Maguire. Sony gave you Andrew Garfield. Oh, and by the way, Sony also gave you a Spider-Verse movie. You know what I mean? So while I understand that stance, that's not evidence-based. That's not evidence. Everything I'm talking about is shit that's happening that indicates something is going down. It's legit, dude. You know what I mean? So it's like, I get what you're saying, but that's not really evidence. That's skepticism, which is fair, but that's not evidence. Let me see here. Let's see what's going on here. Just give me Toby and J.K. Simmons? Hell yeah. When do you think Battleworld will come? I would like it as soon as I can, and Doctor Strange will be like the Iron Man of this phase because he will be in almost every movie. Yeah, Night Monkey, I'm starting to believe that. And I also think that the beginning of Battleworld will actually happen in 2024 or 2025. I think the beginning of Battleworld will happen in 2024 or 2025. How did you and Theory meet? Through Mark Fernandez. We're both friends with Mark. Yep. Loving the idea if it's done correctly. Just don't let Venom speak. Oh, I love the Venom. I love Venom's speaking voice. I think he kills it. What else are people saying? I won't give up on my dream as Hardy playing Wolverine. Ooh. Well, I don't know about that one. Are Disney still sellers? Maybe Feige is setting himself up the future of Sony? What? No. Feige's future is going to be with Disney. I'm going to go ahead and say. Give us Topher Grace Venom versus Tom Hardy. Only if Tom Hardy literally just rips his head off. I would be so into that if Tom Hardy just walked up to Topher Grace and was like, yeah, I don't know about that, and just bit his head off. I'd be like, oh yeah, let's do this. You know, Josh, we never did see if Toby's Peter Parker ever paid the rent. Oh, probably not. Probs not, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? And what exactly is Battle World, Josh? I'm not so familiar with the comics. Oh, my God. I love this question because I'm a big nerd and I like talking about this shit. Okay, so let me explain Battle World. And then I want to go into the theater and watch some of my older videos to just see if I was onto it even back then, okay? So, Battle World. Battle World. All right, check it out. Here's what we go. Do you guys know who the Beyonders were? Okay, now there's several retcons to the Beyonders. The Beyonder originally showed up as some disco white suit wearing blonde motherfucker that happened to be like a cosmic entity, okay? You come to find out later on that that was just one Beyonder, and it was really just one Beyonder that was rogue, and he was like acting like a human or whatever, okay? So what the Beyonders really are sort of like these crazy entities that treat the universe and the multiverse as an experiment. So imagine if the whole multiverse was like an ant farm. Okay? And so all the Beyonders are just chilling looking at these little ant farms. One ant farm is Marvel 616. It's the one we know. You know, one is the Ultimates. You know, one is Age of Apocalypse, etc., etc. Okay? So they're looking at all these little ant farms, okay? Now, eventually, these dudes just get bored with creation. They're just like, it's just boring. Let's blow it up. Let's do something else. And there was an event happening in Marvel Comics that was called The Convergence. And this is depicted in a storyline called Time Runs Out. Time Runs Out is one of my favorite, it was like 3 to 4 years. It was one of my favorite times of reading comics in my life. I'm a big Jonathan Hickman fan, and Hickman's Avengers, New Avengers, Avengers World, incredible stuff. And what happened was the Illuminati discovered that there was a phenomenon happening in the multiverse where basically this big portal was opening and parallel Earths were colliding. Okay? They were colliding. One of the things that was happening was if one of the Earths was destroyed, then both universes would be chill. But if both Earths collided, both universes gone. And it put the Avengers in a really interesting place because they literally had to destroy worlds and kill billions of people in order to save and preserve the multiverse. And it just kept happening. It just kept happening, and try as though they may, the conversions kept happening until it got to the point where it was just 2 Earths left in the multiverse. A void. And then 2 Earths. The Ultimates, and our Earth. Okay? Now, while all of that is happening, and the Avengers and the Illuminati, and they're giving their best effort to try to solve this problem, the smartest among us, the best among us, the greatest, Victor Von Doom, he actually figured it out. He figured it out. And he figured it out way before everybody else. And what he realized was Molecule Man, okay, if you don't know who Molecule Man is, he's attached to the old Beyonder. It's all really kind of trippy stuff where the power of the cube goes into the, just For all intents and purposes, all you need to know is that the Molecule Man, really powerful dude. Okay? Dr. Doom realized that Molecule Man was actually a bomb. He was a contingency plan created by the Beyonders just in case shit went bad. They could press a button and essentially blow up all of the Molecule Men in all the different universes. Okay? Now, what happened was Dr. Doom took Reese. He took Molecule Man to all these different multiverses and killed the other Molecule Men and absorbed their power. And so what he created was a singular Molecule Man that had the power, because the Beyonders gave it to him, of the Beyonders. And right at the end, when all hope was lost, when everything was going to be gone, Victor Von Doom used the power of the Beyonders to not only kill the Beyonders, but to grab as many pieces of reality as he could. So he grabbed a little piece of this multiverse. He grabbed a little piece of this multiverse. He grabbed a little piece here, a little piece here, a little piece there, everywhere. Here's a piece, there's a piece. Old McDoomy had a battle world. E-I-E-I-O. This motherfucker takes all of that stuff, slams it together in one singular planet. It was all that was left of reality, and it was called Battle World. Battle World was like Game of Thrones with Marvel characters. It had this really cool aesthetic where there was Castle Von Doom, the Emperor Doom that sat on the World Tree throne. Yeah, there was a lot of cool shit with Battle World. I don't want to go any nerdier. Oh, that's only the beginning, Tim, which is why it's going to start in 2024, 2025, and then we will eventually get there and do yeah. And Reese is the true power, not Doom, Strange, or T'Challa. So yes, so Reese became a battery essentially that had all of that power. Yeah. So there's your history lesson. Could Ant-Man substitute for Molecule Man? There's a lot of different things they could do in the MCU version of it. Yeah. All right, well, that was fun. Love nerding out. Okay, let's get into the theater. And I want to watch videos of this channel. You may have heard of him, the Den of Nerds. I don't know. We'll see if he's any good. Give me just a second as I pull this up, okay? Wait, okay. Sony, Marvel. Maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe that's the way to do it. Dark Avengers in Phase 4. Talking to Charlie Murphy. Sony Marvel plans. I'm looking for something like a year ago. A year ago. Okay. You guys ready? Want to check it out? Okay, now I'm pumped for the future of the MCU. Well, if you don't know, now you know, Nerdvenger. I want a PS4 Pro from the Den of Nerds, but they never sent it. Says Trinity from 2nd Street Marvel. My bad. I'll talk to Chet about it. All right. Let's go into the theater. Let's see what I was flapping my gums about back in the day. But hang on. Let me see something here. Is that the one? Okay, that's much better. Boom, bada boom, bada boom, 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 bada boom, bada boom, boom. All right, let's pause this music. By beautiful Halo.
Since it was announced Friday that Spider-Man is indeed coming back to the MCU, we've gotten a whole bunch of
Can you
more
guys hear that
information
okay?
about what happened behind the scenes and what brought both parties back to the table. On top of that, Kevin Feige's comments about Spider-Man swinging from one cinematic universe to another has sparked a whole nother conversation. Does this mean they're going to figure out an end for Spider-Man so that he can leave the MCU permanently and hop into Sony
Whoa,
universe,
what's
or will
Josh
he
doing?
go
Why is he
back and
whoa,
forth
whoa.
between the
Remember
two?
when we used to
Buckle
do
up,
this?
nerds, we got a lot to talk about today.
It's like the news, but for nerds.
Today's shout out.
All right, so we should stop here because a lot of people, this is so funny. Lavis actually explained this to me. People didn't even know that the Nerdy News Rundown was the Den of Nerds. Like, essentially, the Nerdy News Rundown was so successful on its own branding that people didn't even realize it was me. It was us. It was us the whole time. And a lot of people miss that intro, and I have been thinking about that. But let's just keep going.
Goes to Lou Chandler. Indeed, Tarv, happy Monday to you. I am Josh. Welcome back to the show.
And this beat was pretty
Man,
funky,
man,
too.
ever
I did
since
like
Friday's
this.
announcement, the whole internet's been reeling. Spider-Man is back in the MCU, but
Hang on, I just want to make sure the audio and everything's good. You guys good? Let me make sure the chat's good. Everybody good? Everybody okay? Looks like you trimmed down and toned up since then. Well done. Yeah, I mean we did some things. It's a part of the Den of Nerds multiverse days. Yeah. RDJ does look drunk there. It's low. Okay, I'll turn it up. Cool. Thank you, Adam. All right, let's keep going.
what does this mean exactly and how did it happen? So let's get into some of the new spicy details about what actually went down in this deal and why the companies decided to do this, and then we will speculate about what everybody's talking about. What does Feige mean by Spider-Man crossing from one cinematic universe on? And much like I was telling you guys as this deal was falling apart and maybe being rebuilt, this is just stuff that should be happening behind closed doors, and whatever we are hearing, even from reputable trades, is really secondhand information. So it's really hard to decipher exactly what is going on. But having said that, let's talk about what some of these trades are saying.
I just want to say this too. One of my biggest flaws, have you ever heard the expression, keep it simple, stupid? You ever hear that? You guys ever hear that expression? This is like something I'm very much not good at doing. I wish I would keep it more simple. Yeah. And I think you can all probably agree. Where you're like, yeah, man, you definitely drone on. Yeah. Let's keep going. This is good.
Number one, Deadline is reporting that Disney is the one that actually came back to the table after D23. Believe it or not, Sony was totally good. Sony has a plan, and they are just going to go do their plan. But it was Disney after D23, and after they looked out at what fans were saying online and how the
Isn't that crazy? Nobody talks about that, but it was Disney that came back. Anyway,
buzz was
keep going.
that decided to come back to the table. Now, I and many other people out there that kind of do this, that make content when it comes to Marvel, speculated that Feige was going to become personally involved with these negotiations, particularly after San Diego Comic-Con and D23. Because if you look at the way they were sort of boilerplate answering everything around those times, Feige was playing it very cool, but all the signs pointed to Spider-Man being incredibly important for the future of the MCU, at least in the short term. And so it just seemed like this was something that Feige was going to take it on himself to actually go negotiate for, because what was going on before was Alan Horn was negotiating with people at
that's true.
Sony. Now, Deadline is also reporting that the 50% take that Marvel or Disney wanted was actually real. And I know there's a lot of confusion here. There's a lot of people saying different things. Most notably, Jeremy Conrad is coming out and saying that Disney never wanted half, that was all fake news. And I like Jeremy and I like MCU Cosmic. I think they do a great job with a lot of their scoops, but homie ain't God, and what he says ain't the gospel. And there's a lot of conflicting information out there that is reporting that Disney did.
Man, it seems like for over a year now, I've been saying yeah, Jeremy Conrad's great, but he's great, but. And the truth is, I do like Jeremy, but he makes these leaps. He makes these leaps, and then he has major confirmation bias.
Did indeed want 50% of the revenue from their future arrangement with Sony, and they were going to back it up with 50% of putting the money forward. So this one's tricky to figure out, but in my opinion, it does look like Disney was trying to go from 5% total take all the way up to 50%.
And by the way, look, I'm just going to say it. if anything, of course, someone like Conrad would side with Disney. He's got Disney. He likes Disney.
They did sort of retreat back to 25%, which seemed to be something Sony was okay with. And it's just funny because in a lot of ways, people are painting the picture that like the mouse won, that Disney won, that this is a big win for them. And it's just funny how the perception of that will probably be there no matter what. But according to a lot of the trades out there, that's not exactly the case. It was actually Marvel and not Sony that came back to the table. It was Marvel.
So this is a really important point, and something I talked about with Matt, is that the perception of how this went down is very different than what actually went down. It's kind of fascinating, actually.
That made concessions, not Sony. So the actual winner here is probably more Sony than anyone, but it won't look like that out there online, and that's totally fine. Like, I got no dog in this fight. Like, I don't care either way. If anything, I'm such a Marvel fanboy that I'm like, whoop, whoop, let's just get the win for Feige. But the reality is not that. So I really felt it was important to make mention of that. Okay, now let's talk Spideyverse, and that's a word that probably comes from Feige that Sony will now use to sort of market their version of the Marvel universe. Remember way back when they were developing the Venom movie, there was all
This
this
is where it's
talk
gonna get juicy.
about the Sony Marvel universe, this thing that they were going to build, and Sony Marvel universe is just too clanky and not cool. So I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say it was probably Feige that was like, just call it the Spideyverse. What are you guys doing? And so yes, in his statement on Friday, Kevin Feige said that Spider-Man was a unique character. He was one of the only characters that had the superpower to cross between cinematic universes. And Deadpool was over there like, am I a joke to you? But I digress. Like, what Feige is referring to there is this Spideyverse that Sony is building. And they haven't been shy about this at all. Remember, guys, I told you way back when in that Amy Pascal interview that famously had like the sad face Kevin Feige where he was very uncomfortable about her sharing this information.
Our favorite.
She literally let it be known that that's what Sony was doing. They're building up a universe for the Tom Holland Spider-Man. When that arrangement was
I like
over,
this knee jerk,
Spider-Man's coming back to
jerk
Sony,
he's about
and
to
that's
do.
where he will remain. Now, to compound and sort of add to the story with
we
the
missed
spice is the fact that just the day before that, on Thursday, before the Friday announcement came out, it was broke in the trades that the writer that did the Morbius movie is working on a Madam Web movie. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, dude, they'd never do a Madam Web movie. Like, who would do a Madam Web movie? Perhaps in light of the announcement on Friday, this makes a little bit more sense.
So yeah, just so you know, we were talking about the Madam Web movie a year ago. Guys, this is September 30th, 2019.
Madam Web is sort of this cosmic level character, something akin to like the Grand Master in Thor Ragnarok, or even more like the Watchers or something like that. Like, basically, Madam Web is this cosmic being that is able to communicate and do different things with Peter Parker. And so whether via Madam Web, the idea of the multiverse, something that was going on with the branch timelines and realities from Endgame, all of these things are diegetic ways for it to make sense that Spider-Man is literally existing in two different universes, that he will come over here in some universes, and then he'll come over here in some universes. Now, it was reported, and I believe it was comicbook.com that did this, they reported that what is going on here is that Kevin Feige is actually going to develop a clean way for Spider-Man to exit the Marvel Cinematic Universe and go to the Sony Spideyverse. And my gut tells me that's not exactly true, but it's not exactly false either. Like, what I think is going on here is due to this arrangement, Marvel has let Sony understand that like their connection to the MCU and their connection to Disney is a huge, valuable piece of the puzzle for them. And it would be best if instead of having this terrible breakup that really doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, when you consider the end of Far From Home, like, how do you go from that to just whatever Sony wants to do, including the Venom movie? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, 100%. So this was a big indicator for me that I was like, you know, back then I was like, there's got to be something more to this because, like, you know, Feige had said, I believe, in a statement, we're happy with the story we told. Basically, like, it was a negotiation tactic. Like, Feige had basically come out and said, yeah, I don't care. They can do whatever they want. I was glad that we had it at the time and we told our story, whatever. But that's not true. Like, there's no fucking way that's true. Like, there's no way that he was happy with the cliffhanger after Far From Home. And then if he was never going to be able to tell that story again, there's no way he was pumped about that. But he publicly said that he was okay with it as a negotiation tactic.
Makes sense. We're missing a chapter. We're missing one of the books in that volume for that series, right? So I think Feige will actually help Sony and help Marvel develop a way to keep it distinct, right? Whenever Spider-Man's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we will know that, and it'll be distinct, and he comes from that universe. And then when he's playing over there in the Venomverse or the Spideyverse, that will be distinct as well. And like I said, there's multiple ways they could accomplish this, and I think that what was really important to Feige was truly wrapping up his story with Peter in the MCU with possibilities of it continuing later on, but also figuring out a very clean way to differentiate between the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Tom Holland, or rather, and Tom Holland in the Spideyverse. Now, what's really mind-blowing about this whole situation to me is that the Tom Holland Spider-Man character himself will always be that character, and so the character development from him in the MCU, and then the character development for whatever happens when he's in Sony's Spider-Verse, that will all be a part of the character. So if he eventually comes back for like a Secret Wars, which is a highly rumored big Marvel project that they are working on, he could come back from...
Whoa. We were talking about Secret Wars a year ago? God damn. Okay, now, look, this is actually cool because the thing I'm talking about in the video right here is now applicable to Venom as well. So the point I was making here was, as long as this is a character that is like has that diegetic journey, then all of the experiences that this character has had impact the character decisions and how we look at the character as the audience. That's the same for Venom. So as Tom Hardy comes into the MCU and has a little thing in Spider-Man 3, whatever experience that is, it will stay with him even when he goes back to the Sony verse or whatever the hell it is. You know what I mean? So, yeah, kind of interesting. And we're almost done here, guys. We're almost done.
From Sony's Marvel verse or Spideyverse into the MCU, and that whole through line with all that character development is still intact. That is brilliant. I think things that we can essentially be guaranteed of is that Tom Holland will be in the Venom sequel, and I think he'll even show up perhaps in the Morbius movie. Like, Sony pretty much has all the cards in this situation, and I'm
or so I thought.
Whatever negotiation they came to, still, I mean, the license hasn't shifted hands. Like, it's still Sony's character. I mean, they own the license to create that character and do whatever they want with them in the cinematic sense. So I'm pretty damn sure that Tom Holland is going to be playing a big role in these future Sony movies, which I'm really excited about. But the big story and what people are very excited about with regards to Marvel is that the third Spider-Man movie, the last chapter in this trilogy for the new Spider-Man, will be handled in the MCU. That is going to be MCU stuff. And so, look.
Well, now we know it's going to be MCU stuff and Sony stuff, and a shit ton of it, too. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. Like, you know, we've sort of been talking about this. We've been thinking about this for over a year. And ever since that stuff happened back then, it's been interesting to try to follow all the little bits and try to understand, you know, what was happening. So, let me see. Let me see if there's anything else we want to talk about. This was before this. Okay, here's one that's... Oh, that was a month ago? Jeez. Let's see here. This was a year ago. When was this? I just want to see. I want to see if this was before
America
or
has
after.
woken up to the injustice.
This was after.
But now is not the time to
This
ease
was
up.
after. That's pretty interesting. Okay, let's see what this shit is about. I'll scrub through. We don't have to watch this whole video, but I'll scrub through, okay? Because I just want to see.
There are a lot of Marvel rumors making their way around the internet lately. In this video, I want to break a lot of them down, including what is going on with Venom and Deadpool and Spider-Man 3, and what exactly is going on with Sony and Marvel and the Spider-Man character anyway. Plus, we got some set photos from the Black Widow movie. That thing's shooting already now, which is crazy. We thought this was going to be shooting later this year, but they're going to take place between, previously known for that Hellboy movie that was a... This movie's officially shooting. Expect a lot more set photo legal David Harbour. You know what you think about the rumors? That Venom will be in the third Spider-Man movie.
Wait a minute.
There's a lot of rumors that Venom will be in the third Spider-Man movie.
So there were rumors that Venom was going to be in the Spider-Man movie a fucking year ago? I just want to see
that
what's
will
up.
be produced over at Marvel. And before we go any further, I just want to say the name Roger Wardell. Roger Wardell is the name of someone who is now an infamous leaker of Marvel information.
Did this come
we talked about
from
some of the stuff he
Wardell?
leaked yesterday. He did a big leak on Reddit and had a lot of tweets that were deleted, and that Reddit post was deleted as well. And this all had to do with Marvel's Phase 4. A lot of information about Norman Osborn, Cosmic Avengers. Go watch the video I did yesterday to break all of that stuff down. But this guy just keeps on leaking stuff. And literally,
Maybe this
as
is why
I was
Roger
editing the show
Waddell
yesterday,
went
he
away.
leaked some very interesting information that shot down a rumor about Deadpool and confirmed something crazy about the Venom character.
Hang on.
On the heels of a rumor that Deadpool would be joining up with Spidey in the third Marvel Spider-Man film, he shot it down and said that Deadpool would be treated just in solo movies, just like he was in the X-Men universe. And he also said that Sony desperately wants the Venom character and Tom Hardy's Venom to be in the third of the Marvel Spider-Man movies.
Wow.
This spawned a bunch of crazy rumors and speculation about what was...
Do you guys understand how fucking crazy that is? Like, and that was the real Roger Waddell, too. That is interesting. Raise your hand if you're happy Josh's voice finally changed. Yeah, well, I used to do the YouTube voice at a much higher octave. You know, I talk like this when I'm in the YouTube voice. You know, this is the YouTube thing. Yeah, I don't know. Isn't this interesting, guys? Do you see how, like, we've kind of been talking about the same shit for, like, a year? He still does it in the videos. Yeah, but I try to pull it back a little bit, but I'm trying to find the balance. But isn't this fucking wild? Let's just keep going.
Going on with Sony and Marvel. I think it's pretty obvious that Sony would like Tom Hardy's Venom to show up in a Marvel movie. I think they've wanted that for a long time. The crossover opportunities are crazy. I mean, the film itself that they did the crossover in would be huge. They'd be able to, you know, do a bunch of publicity for that, get a lot of butts in the seats. On top of that, tying the Tom Hardy Venom somehow into the MCU, having him have some interactions with Spider-Man just brings more value to that character. It sort of establishes him even more and perhaps helps the franchise and the Sony Marvel universe that they are building over there with all of the Spider-Man villains. And since the story broke yesterday, I've seen a lot of confusion about what exactly is the arrangement that Marvel and Sony have. I've seen some people reporting that it's a 5-movie contract. I've seen some people reporting that it is a 6-movie contract.
Wow.
Jeremy Conrad over at MCU Cosmic does a pretty good breakdown of this, citing different examples of, you know, Feige and Tom Holland saying different things that kind of hint towards 5 movies or 6 movies. Now, from my understanding, and this was established pretty early on, I think the contract is for 6 movies, but I did think that after 5 movies, they went back to the drawing board to sort of renegotiate the contract. And I believe the reason that this was put into the contract is so that Marvel and Sony would have a lot of time to plan not only how they would approach this last Spider-Man movie, but how they were going to approach all of the movies after that. Equally important for Sony, they would want to... Hope that makes sense. Now, as I said in the show yesterday, and as I will continue to say, I truly believe that this deal is sort of already finalized. Marvel and Sony have already talked about a lot of this stuff, and I'm talking all the way back to that Amy Pascal interview.
Yeah. So again, I do believe that a lot of this stuff has been already talked about. We've figured this out. You know what I mean? Like I think this has been handled, you know, and I think that right now a lot of the stuff that we're, you know, that we're hearing and seeing is kind of coming out differently, right? It's interesting. I mean, we've been on it. We've been on it for a year. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to see that. I just wanted to, and honestly, I didn't look before. I was curious. I was like, well, I want to see what I was reporting a year ago and see that. So now we'll just get into Q&A, guys. We're just getting to Q&A. We'll do like 15, 20 minutes of Q&A. And then we're going to call it. What do you think? What do you think? What's on your mind? What do you think? Because ain't shit happened in the last year. That's true, actually. That's a fair point. So now what type of plot will Spider-Man 3 have? I think Spider-Man 3 will have a Multiverse Sinister 6 plot. Not exactly the normal nerdy shit, but thoughts on Soul going straight to Disney Plus for free. Yeah, my thoughts on that are, I said they should do that with Black Widow. A lot of people were like, that's stupid. A lot of people said, you don't know what you're talking about. I continued to say that was exactly what they needed to do. I continued to be validated on all these macro business decisions, the dividends that are no longer going to shareholders, and the leverage they're doing on Disney Plus just falls in line perfectly with all the shit I've been saying. So how do I feel about that? Like I always feel. Pretty fucking good. I've been waiting for it for 10 years now. What were you waiting for? Oh, Secret Invasion? Oh, yeah. That's happening. So after rewatching Rogue One, the Vader ending, if combining that with Mandalorian Episode 1 Body Slice, Darth Bane can be directly adapted, decapitations and all that are implied. That's very true. That's very true. But what is the holdup then with doing it for Black Widow? Just stubbornness? Yes. Star Wars Santa says, have you seen Rahul Cooley's tweet? Yes. I commented on it. Josh, you think we could be building towards the Annihilation Wave? You know, that's a really interesting one. I don't know how much Annihilation Wave we're actually going to get. I would love some Annihilation Wave, but I don't know. How am I doing, Mike? I'm doing great, brother. I'm doing great. The weekend was great. I got way too drunk. Way too messed up. So a lot of recovery yesterday. But, yeah, I feel good. I feel real good. I will tell you this, though. There is some weirdness. The last video I did on Friday, this is kind of an interesting thing. So the last video I did on Friday was a video about that Green Lantern show. And for whatever reason, that video is doing horribly. But it's kind of funny because there's some confusion around that story. And I'm actually glad that that video is doing so shitty. Because I may have been totally wrong about the Jeff Johns thing. But I'm still looking into it, and I'm still talking to people, because I actually don't think I was wrong at all. Because it's Green Lantern. Bro, you're not wrong. Nobody gives a fuck about Green Lantern except for me, it seems like. But I need to look into that a little bit more. But regardless, So, regardless, if they really do have him involved still, and none of the trades mentioned him, that is still a story, which I try to explain to some dumb motherfuckers in the chat or in the comments. And I did actually say that in the video, but I still believe that had I known about the actual DC website putting his name on there, I would have reported that, and I would have reported it a little bit differently. You know what I mean? SCB says, how's it going? Can you read my comment? Yes, I can. All I'm saying is that end credit scene better be a real promise that J.K. Simmons will be in Spider-Man 3 or I'll be mad AF. Nikki, I think you're good. I think you're good. I saw your comment on the tweet. Hoped you'd take the bait to discuss. Maybe join me in a bit to discuss. Unfortunately, brother, I cannot. I've got a very busy day. Normally, I work at least a little bit on the weekends, but I didn't do shit this weekend, so I got a lot to do today. So, no. I will discuss more in a few minutes. I'm curious the project development. Oh, yeah. No, do your thing. Infinity War the movie ain't Infinity War the comics. Very true. The movie is really a mix of Thanos Quest, Infinity War. Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. A&M Entertainment, what's up? Welcome to the Nerd Vengers. How you doing? How you living? How you feeling? I am hyped for Morbius. I think Sony is going to do really well on that, and they are getting better. I agree, Cole. I agree. I absolutely agree. And I'm pumped. Morbius is dope. So if Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are involved in Spider-Man 3, do you think that they will take the blame for a mysterious death? Ooh, that's kind of interesting, Leroy. Yeah, that is pretty interesting. I think both of those things will happen. Well, I think the second thing will happen pretty assuredly. I'm not 100% on the first part, but I like it. And they could help him out with that. That would be very cool. That would be very cool, man. Yeah. That's cool. Dr. Doom in Ant-Man 3, there are some rumors that is the case. Yes, there are some rumors that that's the case. Thoughts on possible Blade in Spider-Man 3 or the Morbius movie, as Morbius-Blade connection should happen soon. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. And it would be great if they actually did figure that shit out. That would be great. Yo, random question, but I'm rewatching DBZ right now. Was wondering who is your favorite character? Vegeta. Hands down, Vegeta. 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 Hey, they kind of inadvertently mentioned me in The Boys Season 2 finale. Did they really? I didn't catch that. We all know Andrew Garfield can't get his Spider-Man 3, so he has to hang out with Tom Holland in Spider-Man 3. He might have to, you're right. I can't be hyped for anything with Leto or Leto. Is it Leto or Leto? Who cares? In an After Suicide where he got shit all over one of my favorite characters. Yeah, that's fair. I actually think it was Warner Brothers that shit on that character more than him, but we don't know that for sure. But like the stories that David Ayer tells is that there's a lot of that performance that's on the cutting room floor. So Homelander really nutted off of Nerdvenger's tower. That motherfucker. I don't think it was Leto's fault. Supposedly they had... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you see Rahul Cooley's tweet this weekend? He's becoming my favorite new Star Wars actor. I mean, like, what do you want me to say, Freeman? What do you want me to say? I see everybody talking about it. I already done told you he's Ezra. I already done told you Ezra's going to be in the show. Like, look. Don't get me started on this shit. Don't get me started on it. Put some fucking respect on my name. Don't get me started. I'm having a really good Monday. I mean, I've been telling you this. Anyway. Take a victory lap, Josh. You know you want to. No. I forget his name, but what about the guy who played young Charles Xavier? That would be cool. Bryce Dallas Howard as Sue Storm? Maybe. That could be cool. That could be cool. Yeah, I did, Wells. I did. Are there any casting rumors for Miles Morales? No, unfortunately not. Nothing substantial on that. Yeah, so should we talk about the... I guess we'll talk about it tonight on Nerd Theory. We could talk about it tonight. Look, he is Ezra. Like, I don't know what else you want... I mean, like, if he's not Ezra, then he's an asshole. It's really what it is. Like, if he's not Ezra, then fuck you. But he is. And he's cool. And I can't wait to meet him. Dude. We're going to go back to normal eventually. We're going to get through this bullshit, and we're going to get back to normal. And then I can't wait to meet him at a Comic-Con. Maybe even have him on an episode of Nerd Theory. You know, fuck. Yeah, it's awesome, dude. SDW. By the way, great to see you, SDW. I hope you're doing well. Hope the new job is good. Annihilation Wave, Josh. I'm calling it. Well, there was some buzz. With Annihilation Wave, but I think it was one of those things that, like, they were playing around with that never really materialized. I mean, it's hard to say. Do you think Ahsoka is 1,000% in The Mandalorian? I mean, like, yeah, dude. Like, what do you want me to say? I've been saying this. Yeah, I think she's going to be in the show. I think it's going to happen. I still have my doubts that he's Ezra. I think he's trolling, but I hope he is, though. Yeah, man. He seems like a great dude. Seems like a great ambassador for the brand. Josh, it's only Monday, bro. Relax. I know. It's cool. I get it. You guys aren't in it like I'm in it. But that is why I do what I do. I get it. But you should too. What do you think about the old ultimatum scoop? I'm glad you asked that question, actually. I'm really glad you asked that question. I think it's real. But I also think it was so early when they were developing that. And I'll be honest with you, I think Jeremy ran with that because shit was super slow and he needed a little pop. And honestly, I had him on to talk about it because I thought it was dope. So we had a pop. He had a pop. We got a pop. It was fine. I think it was real. And I think they will do that with Doctor Doom. But It's really, I think, probably a little bit more like Doom Wars. If you guys are familiar with Doom Wars, that's probably a little bit more accurate than Ultimatum. However, they could call it Ultimatum. Jeremy could have heard from a source that they're adapting Ultimatum. Whatever. So I think it's real, but it's probably going to manifest itself in a way that is very different than, that Ultimatum story, which we already explained. Like when we broke that, we talked about it. But yeah, that's my answer to that. But I appreciate that question because I've been thinking about that as well. We're getting Doom War for Black Panther 2? Maybe. David Nations, I'm so bad with casting like that, bro. You don't want me to cast anything. You don't want me to cast. Josh, we must do the spreadsheet scooper thing again. I agree with you. I think that would be great, but I would really love it if somebody on Reddit just did it, and then we could fucking talk about it, because I'm trying to do all that. Josh, any Marvel guys you would do a live stream with, like you do with Star Wars Theory? There's a ton of Marvel guys that I would. I would do with fucking kind of Culty. Culty I would do. Culty's great. I think Eric Voss is great. I'm confused as to why he had Michael Roman on, but that's fine. It's just a part of the game. So I would hang out with those guys. Who else is big? Mr. Sunday Movies or something like. I'd do Culty. Well, I don't know about all that. Slow your roll a little bit there, Brandon. You know what I mean? Relax. But yeah. And honestly, I would totally collab with Everything Always, or what's the other douche? Cosmic Wonder. I would totally collab with them, but I would fucking bury them. It would be like a Comedy Central roast, and they would probably cry. But I would love it. I would totally do it. Doomcock? I would totally do a video with Doomcock. Dude, I would do a stream with Doomcock 100%. 100%. That dude's hilarious. And I would love to ask him about the 4chan thing. Film theorist? Yeah, dude. Film theory is awesome. 3C Films? Not familiar. Not familiar with that, but sure. What helmet would you wear, Josh? What do you mean? I'm sorry. What do you mean? Campia? I would totally sit down with Campia. I would absolutely do it. I don't think Campia would fuck with me, though. Just ask him about FN. Yeah. Is there any way you could read my comment earlier about the Feige and the R-related movies? I mean, it's just too hard. I mean, like, I could try to find it. Okay. Yeah. I'll try to find it real quick. But essentially, when it comes to R-rated movies... Okay, here we go. I think I got it. With a new deal, can we see Feige's involvement with R-rated Marvel movies? Through Sony, which could... Ooh, I like that, SCB. I like that, actually. Yeah, if we could do that, and we could get R-rated stuff going on over at Sony, and then have... That would be great. Especially if they're really going to put that shit out on Disney+. Ooh, that would be great. Ripa talking comics would be dope. Yeah, I would totally collab with Eric. I would totally collab with Eric. I want to see you make Cosmic and Everything Always cry. Yeah. 100%. What about John Roca, Christian Harloff, Jay Washington, Winston Coy, and Nerd Soul? I know a few of those people, and they seem like cool people. I would totally do the Roca, Christian. I mean, Jay Washington seems cool. Winston seems cool. Coy seems cool. They seem cool. I like Nerd Erotic as well. He is bold, and I love it. Yeah, Nerd Erotic seems cool. What's his name? Gary or whatever? Yeah, Gary doesn't seem too bad. Yeah, dude, why don't you just collab with everybody? Yeah, I know, right? Fuck me, I guess, huh? What the fuck am I doing over here? Now, here's the thing, though. A lot of these people, I'm just going to be real, okay? Let's just keep it a buck. A lot of these people, if they were to realize how real we keep it over here, and one of my favorite rules is anybody could get got, right? Right? So some of these people, despite what they might seem like, they got really fragile little egos. And if they come in to the show or they do a stream with me and I'm like, I don't know about that. That sounds like some bullshit. And I push back, they're just going to fold like a lawn chair and cry like a little baby. So as much as I would love to collaborate with some of these people probably are just like, it ain't worth it. And they're probably right. So it is what it is. I mean, I don't care. Either way, like, I'm good. That's what's really cool about just, like, being real and honest and just actually standing for something and not being a grifter and trying to be authentic, you know? Like, that's what's cool about that is, like, I literally have no worries. Like, I have no worries. Like, if I was one of these people, like, even Nerd Erotic, who I think is cool, but I definitely think he grifts, and I definitely think he pushes the negativity through the algorithm to get more clicks. So, I mean, is he comfortable with me just being pretty casually like, yeah, no, you're a clickbait master? I don't know. I don't know. I will collab with you. Fuck them clowns. I don't know anything about YouTube really, though. Yeah, seems like a great collab then. What about these clowns? Jody's Corner and Annie Signor? I don't really have anything against either of those guys. Look, in this game, everybody makes decisions about what kind of content they want to make and how they want to present that content. And YouTube is a very difficult game, and this is a very difficult just space and time to be existing in. So, Jody's Corner is doing his thing. Andy is doing his things. Would I make some of the content that they make? Absolutely not. Do I think they're horrible for making some of the content they make? No. No. Spider-Man Home by 6. Boss Logic. Boss Logic is the homie, man. Josh is the YouTube bully? I don't think so. Josh, you're going to be one of the biggest. You already are one of the best. Mark my words. Tim, thank you. And, oh, well, yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I was on Andy Signor's show before. Yeah. I actually debated the Amazing Lucas. Do you guys know who the Amazing Lucas is? And by the way, I actually feel bad for Lucas in that debate because this motherfucker wasn't prepared at all. And I'm pretty sure Andy was just like last minute trying to get him there. And, you know, like Andy's a smart guy, but like I just don't know about his producing decisions sometimes. You know what I mean? But I think Lucas is cool. And actually, you know what's crazy about the Amazing Lucas is I checked out some of his animation. He does like Maya or some kind of 3D design modeling work. And it's really good, dude. It's really good. And I actually want to reach out to Lucas and actually work with him on some stuff. Oh, you crushed that, dude? Yeah, no. I mean, look, in my opinion, I demolished that dude. But they gave him the win. It was like wrestling. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, again, though, that's so unfair for him. I mean, I talk about Marvel all the time. You know what I mean? Is he related to the Amazing Anton? I don't know. Collaborate with that guy who does the Nerdy News Rundown. I would definitely get along with that guy. That guy seems super sharp. Seems like he takes his craft very seriously. No, thanks, Mike. I'm good. Get Arnhem on to ask why he makes 20 vids a day. Oh, I already know why. Because he can make ad money on 20 videos a day. It's not the worst business strategy. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. Like, people, like, it's funny. Like, people really don't like that. They want you to just, like, you know, play into the facade or whatever, you know? It's all good. I like your content, but the little feuds between YouTube channels are hilarious and exhausting at the same time. People feed on hate. Don't feed the trolls that want drama. Yeah, it's an interesting perspective. I get that perspective. But the thing is, man, people do love that shit. So, you know, it is what it is. War Steel? Probably not. I would love to see LOF series if it could be done right. I just want Charlie Cox back, bro. Yeah, sorry, man. Probably ain't happening. Come on, y'all. I like Armin. Yeah, I don't not like Armin. Did you see the Invincible trailer? No, I have not. I have not. I watch so many different types of channels, even ones I disagree with sometimes. Make sure it's not stuck in an echo chamber. Yeah, 100%. Warstu got me into these channels, but I quickly learned how full of crap he was. I don't even mind that he's full of shit. I just mind that he's, like, bitter. He's like a bitter baby. You went toe-to-toe with geeks and gamers in their stream. That was one of for the books. You know what's so funny about that is, like, that was an interesting example of a lot of people did not, they thought I went too soft on Jeremy, but the truth is I was really trying to, like, actually help the Star Wars community. So to me, I went into that debate not even wanting to win. I didn't want to win. I wanted to bring the Star Wars community back together. But Jeremy flat told me face to face he's just not interested in that. And I'm like, that's fine. You know, that is what it is. Why the fuck am I here then? Josh, do you watch pitch meetings? Absolutely. They're hilarious. They are hilarious. Do a charity nerd roast on Theories channel for big numbers? Nah, man. That ain't it. Lucas from Stranger Things as Miles Morales. I actually think that would be great. That would be great. See ya, Bashti. See ya, Bashti. How's it hanging, Josh? Good? Feeling good, brother? Feeling real good. Should be a good week. Got a lot to do. Probably going to get out of here real soon, guys. Last minute questions. Anybody get your last minute questions? What about a collab with 3D Bot? What the hell's that? What's your lunch/late breakfast? I'm not sure what I'm going to rock today. Definitely need to get some food, though. Do you know the Muffin Man? Hell yeah. Aw, thanks, Cole. I appreciate that, bro. We're going to keep doing our thing, man. You know? First time and checked out your live stream and loved it. Oh, that's dope, man. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, we have a lot of fun over here, for sure. Collab with Chet? Hell no. You've mentioned that the WandaVision thing might be an introduction multiverse trilogy. Set in different universe or something? Yeah, it's like a pocket dimension that she creates. Yeah, it's going to be wild, dude. It's going to be wild. How do you think the general public will react to the Spider Multiverse? By the way, I love your Star Wars Theory podcast in your channel. Thank you, Leo. How do the public respond? I think they'll be chill with it. I think they're actually going to be really excited about it. It's really cool to, like, bring all of those potential fan bases together, to see all those actors together. Those are incredible actors. Like, Toby's great, Andrew's great, Tom's great. So, which EU Star Wars character you want to see in live action? That's interesting. I don't know. Some of my favorites are already in, you know? And it would be, there's a lot of rumors about that Bane thing. Bane's technically not EU, though. I mean, he's both. I like Zesh from the Jedi stories back in the day. Zane's a cool character. Yeah.
I don't agree with everything you say, but I enjoy the different perspectives you bring and your honesty. Hell yeah, brother. That's what we do. Do you have any multiverse info that you are holding back? If I did, I wouldn't tell you. You know what I mean? I've got some Star Wars news I'm holding back for sure. I'll tell you that. I got some Star Wars news that I can't talk about. Council of Reeds, no updates on it. Spill it. Nope. Can't do it. Gotta respect the sources. Gotta respect the info. Just holding it back in general. I don't think I can talk about it at all for a while. How big is this news? I can't answer that. All right, guys, we're going to call it there, okay? Much love to all you beautiful nerds. Much love to all you beautiful nerds. Again, I want to plug this Saturday at noon, big Nerd Vengers stream. If you are a Nerd Vengers member, please try to come on Saturday. If you are not a Nerd Vengers member and you want to support the channel and you want to get in on the cool shit we do, become a member today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video.